So for all of my corporate peeps out there, I know many of you are being summoned back into the office. And so while you may have sold off your larger work bags over the past couple of years, you may be back on the hunt for a new work bag. Or maybe it's not even for work, right? Like for my more fashion forward folks, we all know that big bags are trending again. Most of the new releases we are seeing from the major fashion houses are all much bigger than they've been in previous years. So regardless of which camp, I feel like more and more people are now on the prowl again for larger bags. But we're still kind of in this weird twilight zone where fresh from stores, a bigger bag is generally going to be more expensive because they just require more material to produce. However, big bags are still kind of underpriced on the pre-loved market due to supply and demand over the past couple of years. Demand was low, supply was high, hence you can get some really amazing deals on bigger bags for well below their retail price. However, as demand starts to creep back up, I think those days are coming to an end. So while I don't want to create any panic, the window for buying a big bag pre-loved at an under market price, so to speak, just feels like it's closing. So maybe now is a good time to pull the trigger on the big bag you've been eyeing on the pre-loved market before the trend is in full swing and you find yourself paying a premium again. So that being said, my timing apparently sucks, but I'm still hoping I can beat the market. If you watched my wishlist video for 2024, then you'll know that the main bags I am allowing myself to add this year are going to be big bags for work. And while I'm not going to cover my work routine again or what's in my work bag since I've done that in several videos now, I will link a couple of down below if you are interested. But yes, I do feel comfortable using designer bags for work. Like my Birkin 35, hands down, best decision ever. And it's like the best Birkin size that works for real life me, as opposed to fantasy self me who still is pining after a Birkin 25 that in reality, I would have little to no opportunity to use. And so in this video, I want to share with you 5 work bag contenders that I currently have my eye on. So let's get right into it. I lied. Before we start, I just want to share with you the one criteria I had. Since I do need this bag for work, it has to fit my work laptop, which measures 12.5 inches across and 8 inches in length. That's it. I don't care if the bag is a top handle, a tote, a crossbody. I will consider any and all of the above as long as the bag measures at least 13 inches in length, and that includes the opening of the bag, and at least 8.5 to 9 inches in height. Now let's jump into it. The first contender I have on the list is the oh so iconic Fendi Peekaboo in the large size. Now, I don't even know if Fendi still currently offers the large Peekaboo, but if they did, my guess is you're looking at upwards of maybe $5K or more new from store. But the pre-loved market is crawling with large peekaboos, and oh my gosh, these are a steal at the moment. You're looking at prices as low as $500 depending on the condition. Now granted, larger peekaboos pre-loved, they do tend to show more signs of wear because people just generally don't seem to be as precious with larger bags. Plus, unless you are looking at like the Celleria versions with the grained leather, the smoother leathers that you're more likely to find, those are just going to be more worn in. But on the bright side, because of the softer leather, the older, larger peekaboos typically have already been trained to accomplish the iconic peekaboo smile, which is harder to do on like smaller bags. Now, I originally was about to pull the trigger on a medium-sized peekaboo, thinking it would be big enough just because the bottom measured 13.5 inches. But thankfully, I contacted Fashionphile first and had them measure the opening of the bag that I had already added to cart, by the way, just so I would know for sure and I didn't have to go through the return process. And sadly, the opening on the medium peekaboos measure only 12 to 12.5 inches. So unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be enough to fit my laptop. It's going to be a very, very tight squeeze. But lucky for you and me, we seriously have our pick of large pre-loved peekaboos at the moment. Now, the second contender on the list is a discontinued Dior bag, and it is the Dior Reimo in the large size. Now, would part of me rather have a classic large Lady Dior? Yes, I would. But unfortunately, those typically only measure 12.5 inches across, which is just going to be a super tight squeeze for my laptop. Plus, depending on what year it's from, if it does have a zip closure, that's going to make it even more difficult for me to put my laptop in there. Now, the Dior Reimo, however, it is a couple of inches taller and wider, which works to my advantage. And also, while it may lack the iconic canage quilting, the rest of the bag is virtually the same as the Lady Dior. We still have the same top handle design, the same Dior charms. We do have a shoulder strap and a removable pouch, which is a bonus. And on top of that, because the leather is more supple, it's not going to look as boxy or stiff as the large Lady Dior. Now, I've seen these in both smooth and pebbled leather finishes, and most of them have a really fun pop of contrasting color on the inside if you have a more neutral bag on the outside. So I feel like this is a great alternative if you like the Lady Dior and need it to fit something like a larger work laptop. Again, prices on these are fabulous at the moment. Most of the ones I've seen pre-loved are priced at or around $1,500. The next two bags are actually from YSL, and I don't have a whole lot of YSL in my collection, so I'm really excited to explore the potential of adding a work bag or two from this fashion house. And this is also the only flap style bag that I have on the list, and it is the YSL Lulu in the large size. Y'all, this can also pull double duty as a desk pillow at work. I mean, just look at how puffy this monstrosity is. I mean, you hardly find flat bags of this size, let alone pillow style bags. Like, this measures over 14 inches in length. Like, these things are giant, but I love the idea of having a flat bag for work instead of your more traditional work tote. In terms of pricing, these are a smidge more. On average, I'm seeing them go for right at around the 2K mark, which is still well under their retail price of $3.5 to $4K. Now, the fourth contender, still from YSL, this is one I've flipped and flopped over, and it is the Sack Duur in the medium size, which measures 14 inches in length. Now, previously, I've only ever considered the Sack Duur in either like the nano or the baby sizes, and the goal was to get that bag just for everyday use. And while I really love this silhouette in the smaller sizes, hence my obsession with the Birkin 25, I hate that they are fully open across the top. I don't know why I've never once considered this for work for whatever reason until now. And now I can see this being the perfect work tote bag since a top closure isn't really a necessity for me. And again, prices on these are great at roughly $1,500, which is still well below half the price of what these retail for. Last but not least, let's talk about the ever so elusive Hermes 35. This is another bag I've flipped and flopped over, but for a different reason. The one reason that may have stopped me from getting the Sack Duur as a work bag is because I already do have a Birkin 35 that I dearly love. And the Sack Duur is known as like a designer dupe of the Birkin. So do I still need a dupe when I have what I consider to be like the real thing, you know? On the other hand, the reason why I'm on the fence about the Kelly 35 is, as much as I do really want one in my collection, do I need another extremely bougie bag for work? I mean, granted, the others I've mentioned so far on the list, they're bad enough as is, okay? I get that. Like, all of these bags are squarely in the luxury designer space. So we're not talking Coach or Mulberry or Longchamp here, you know? And I think most people consider all of these bags as being part of like the legitimate luxury space, if you will. And for me, the Kelly 35 has two pros working in its favor. One, this is a size that I would actually get to use at this stage in my life more than the other sizes. And two, of course, the price. Prices for Kelly 35s at the moment are definitely under retail. I mean, I guess I don't know how much of a pro that second point is since I can literally buy every other bag on this list for the price of one Kelly 35. So the question is, would I rather have a Kelly 35 or all four of the other bags on the list? Which option would you go for? Let me know down in the comments below. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this short little video. If you have any of these bags and you use these for work, please let me know down in the comments how they are working out for you. Like, do you like them? Are there things that bug you about using them for work? Like, please let me know. Or if you have any other suggestions for potential work bags, I am all ears. Thank you again so much for watching, and please consider subscribing, liking this video, and I hope to see you back next time.